Well, hey again. It's going to be part 3, I believe. We're going to do the B-bender install. I have a Parsons green B-bender, and before we get started, I just want to talk a little bit about it. Uh, for some reason, they've got a bad name. I want to go ahead and get rid of some of these misconceptions. Uh, I'm weighing it right now, and it's 19.1 ounces, which is 1.1 pounds. I'm going to weigh the body before and after, because we're going to be taking wood out. They're not that heavy. People act like it puts 10 pounds on your guitar. It's 1 pound if you can't take a pound. And that's not counting pulling the wood out. So it's going to be less than a pound. Then people say that it's not as good as a Parsons White. Well, cylinder is the exact same cylinder Parsons White uses. Same spring, same rod. The bell crank, the same moments. The only difference is the shape of the bell crank, and the stop mechanism is built onto the plate. It's pretty much a Parsons White that they put on a plate. Okay. Then the other thing you always hear about is, well, it's too short of a stroke. Well, that's why they have these holes right here to adjust your stroke. The more you take it up to the center, the longer your stroke's going to be. So, the people that talk trash about these benders really don't know what they're talking about. Every bender has good points and bad points. Another thing I hear a lot about is strings breaking. Well, any bender, you're going to break strings if you're not using at least use at least a 13 gauge for your B string. And every bender needs regular maintenance. It needs oiled in all of the moving joints. Spring tension, it would be nice to be able to adjust the spring tension on it. And you can certainly take some coils out or get it hot and stretch it a little bit. I mean, you can play with the string tension, but all in all, when I decided what bender I was going to use on this guitar, it was really down to being able to support it after the guitar leaves the shop. And the Parsons Green does that. It fits the bill for that for me, because I can get parts easier, and if I have to, I can send somebody a whole new mechanism. So Parsons White is more of a, each guitar is a little different. Each one's handmade, so for production models, this is definitely a better choice. So it comes with instructions, so we're going to dive right in on that. Let me get them out. Okay, Parsons Green B-bender installation. Comes with a really good instruction book, really easy to follow. Also has the full-size prints. You start out, find your center line. To do this, I use calipers, and I measure my neck pocket, divide it in half, make a mark. Then I measured from my high E to my low E, outside to outside of the string ferrule holes. Divided that by 2, made a mark. Then you're supposed to draw a line. That's your center line of your body. I didn't draw a line, but they are marked. Then I measured from that center line to the center of the B string hole. That is where you center your cylinder up. Once you draw, once you measure to the middle of the B-string hole, you're going to also want to take that measurement and put it down here at your neck pocket. You want to draw a nice straight line, precision straight edge. Make sure this is perfect. This has got to be perfect. Now, here's where the instructions are a little different than what I do. You get 4 criteria. It says, allow an 1/8 of an inch here, line it up with the body line as best you can. Make sure it is parallel from this edge to your center point of your guitar. You want everything parallel. You don't want it to pull to the side. You want it to pull perfectly parallel. I have all that. Now it says to measure to the cylinder. Well, the cylinder's got a cutout spot on it. So what I do is I make a mark at the edge. I've already got my B string line right here. Now I got my edge marked. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure. I'm going to measure from the center of this slot to the edge. That's going to be where I make my 15/16 hole. You can never measure to the middle of a slot, so what you have to do, well, I guess I can because I have 2 bolt holes here. There. And there. I don't even really have to measure. All I have to do now is transcribe. There. That is the center point for my 15/16 hole. I'm going to take a few pictures and then I'm going to drill this 15/16 hole. I have a Forstner bit like they suggest. I ordered it and it came in and I don't know where it went. So, like we always do, I try to show you how to do things with, I don't know, without having to buy a lot of extra things. So I've got a brand new 7/8 bit. I'm going to be careful with this, try not to get any splintering, and then I'll open it up to the 15/16 that I need. I'm going to go ahead and take these pictures, drill this hole, and then I'll get back with you. Okay, got our hole. It's centered. Got pictures of the hole versus the line that I drew, the perfect 15/16. And as you see, it's just a little bit too small for that to go in. So now I'm going to take a Dremel tool with a sanding drum on it, and I'm going to open that up just enough to make sure that this is a nice tight fit, a pressed in fit. Then I'll get back with you. Okay, there we go. What I ended up with was it's a nice tight fit. You gotta apply a little pressure to it. Goes in, fits perfect. It's gonna tighten up more when you put the bending barrel up through it. This is pretty much the most important step in this entire project, is getting this hole exactly where it needs to be and getting this grommet to fit correctly. After that, the only rough part is going to be in setting this plate into the back so that it's nice and flush. Make a nice flush fit out of it. Rounding it out. The way I'm going to make a template is I'm just going to take this sheet, cut it out carefully. I'm going to put it on the back of the guitar. I will do that and be right back. Okay, I got it cut out and I've taped it to the guitar. And what I'm looking for is, this is supposed to be parallel. It's in a little bit, that's fine. I can come back later and trim this out. Right now we're just getting it close. You're never going to see this. This is just for clearance for the mechanism. So if you have to adjust, that's fine. This is just kind of a, this is going to be a rough outline just so we can start getting it into the body, start getting it fit. When we get it fit exactly like we want it, we will trace it out and then we'll do lat routing to inset it. So I'm going to trace this out and then I'm going to start going into it with the router. I'm going to go ahead and mark these lines so that I know exactly how deep to go and where I need to go that deep at. All of this is going to be covered up by the plate when we're done, so don't fret too much. Right now the most important thing is to have this hole in the correct spot, lined up on our hole that we drilled, and make sure that you don't go through the side of the body or anything like that. Get this kind of where you need it, and no doubt it's going to need a little bit of fine tuning, but we'll get there. And here we are, ready to cut. Got it marked so I know how deep I need to go. Of course, once I go over it the first time, that's going to be over with. I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch diameter plunger bit. Got a bearing on it for writing templates. My first cut is probably going to be, you know, maybe 3/16, 1/4 inch deep. I'm going to slowly cut this out until that bearing will actually go where I need it to go. Then I'm going to trim right up to my line. You have all the time in the world to do this. This is probably going to take a couple hours for me to do this. To take your time, do it right, and just, you know, it may take 10 or 12 cuts with that router, who knows. The secret is a good bit, a good sharp bit, a new bit, what I always do when I'm doing one of these. And then just taking your time, especially around the outside. Once you get your outline, then you can come back with, you know, a bigger, like maybe a 1/2 inch bit or 3/4 bit even, and really hog it out and do what you need to do. I'm going to get this routed out, and then we will move on to the next step. And here we go. After I don't know, I guess 3-4 hours work, I did have to open this up more compared to the template. On the template, I think it was 7/8 and 1 1/8. I went 15/16 and 1 3/16 just to make sure. And all you can do is just keep nibbling away, working with it until you get a good fit. I mean, I got plenty of adjustment here, plenty of room. The mechanism works nice and free. Adjusted out all the way. It works nice and free. Your final check is going to be to put your ring in. There we go. And still working smoothly. Of course, drill your pilot holes, put your screws in, and you're done. You're ready to roll. I have inset these. I may inset this one, but this is the actual, well, maybe not. This is exactly the instructions from Parsons Green. Works out well. It seems like it's complicated, but it's really not. Make sure you have your center line. Make sure you have your B string line. Once all that's lined up and you get that hole drilled perfect, it's just a matter of putting the template on, routing it out. A little at a time. Take baby steps with it. Like this one, I had to open it up a little bit more up here. Every guitar is a little bit different. I don't know why, but they are. But there you go. Parsons Green B bender. I weighed it before. I was at 59 ounces. It's at 70 ounces now. So that is 0.687 pounds is how much weight I've added by installing this B bender. I don't think that's bad at all. If you do, then I don't know. Maybe you should buy a nice stool and keep the guitar on your lap. You know, if you can't hold an extra half pound in exchange for having a B bender. It's a nice install, nice little project. Takes about a day to do if you do it right. I'm going to complete this guitar now. I'm going to keep on painting and staining and putting on the binding and all that good stuff. If you join me just for the B bender install, check out some of our other videos. Please like us, subscribe us. Any questions, comments, anything at all, we have our email address at the beginning and end of every video, and we have a link to our Facebook group page on our Bradford Stringed Instrument YouTube page. So thank you for watching. I hope it helped you out. The instructions, they seem like they're a little rough, but they're not. They're not rough at all. It's pretty basic. I would say 99% of this is getting that first hole correct. And even that's not bad if you can read a tape measure. Get with me, let me know what else you'd like to see. And until then, have a blessed day, and goodbye.